Lots of spending announcements in the budget. Some of the big ones include 200 billion rupees, or around 2.4 billion euros, on infrastructure. That money will include investment in motorways and plans to build 400 new energy efficient trains in the next 3 years. Other big spending items announced today, around 2 billion euros worth of incentives for building solar panels in India. From a tax point of view, there'll also be a new 30% tax on income from digital assets. The big increase in public spending is aimed at trying to lift the Indian economy out of its pandemic-related slump and guide it back to a course of growth. India's economy contracted by more than 6% in the year from April 2020 to March 2021. The finance minister says in the year until the end of March this year, the economy will grow by 9.2%, and in the following year, growth will be between 8 and 8.5%. So strong forecast there, but the government's own economic report warning that inflation and the rising price of crude oil could have an impact on that growth.
One of the key goals, though, is job creation.
And India's labour market hasn't recovered along with its economic growth. The unemployment rate rose to a 4-month high in December, according to figures from the Centre for Monitoring the Indian Economy. Economists are also concerned that participation in the labour force has fallen as well, and that hasn't recovered. So that means there are fewer people available for work or working. In the budget, a new incentive scheme targeting 14 different sectors is aiming to create 6 million jobs over the next 5 years. The CMIE, though, says that actually to get India up to global labour participation standards, they need 188 million new jobs to be created. This is part of a dilemma about formal and informal employment in India as well. And this is something that I've been discussing with the economics professor Raja Kathuria from Shiv Nadar University. He says that the government and the private sector have roles to play in solving this problem.
The unemployment rates are at historical highs. The employment as a proportion of population today is about 36%. And it's lower than the pre-pandemic levels of 39%. And that's as a proportion of the population. And the private sector should recognize that and try and maximize employment as much as possible. And of course, they keep complaining about lack of facilitation, lack of a lot of protectionism, etc. That's for the government to do, and we should continue to advocate to the government to enable the environment for manufacturing. But private sector must play its part as well.
Turning now to another big business story. Stephen, the New York Times has bought that compulsive new game Wordle.
I was trying to think of 5-letter words to describe this. Scoop, steal. It's become a sensation in recent weeks. We know that millions of people are playing it every day. The game was created by the software engineer Josh Wardle. He made it public in October of last year. On the 1st of November, there was under 100 people playing the game. The New York Times has now paid what it describes as a low 7-figure amount for the game, so over $1 million being played. It will still be available to play for free, crucially. It's going to join the New York Times' Games app, which includes their crosswords. That has over 1 million subscribers. That reached that milestone in December. In a statement, the New York Times says that it remains focused on becoming the essential subscription for every English-speaking person seeking to understand and engage with the world. But New York Times games are a key part of that strategy. The New York Times company has seen a huge growth in subscribers in recent years. They've over 8 million, according to their most recent figures. They're aiming to meet 10 million by 2025. And you can see that Wordle could be a good strategy to get more people into the New York Times universe, even if it is still going to be free to play.
Well, for something so simple, it's surprisingly addictive. And I believe there's a French version also.
There is a French version. There's a version with rude words. There's a hard version. It is something, I think, what I like about it is you can only play it once a day. So it's not that addictive.
You can't get that addicted. No, you just need to remember to go back every day. Stephen Carroll, thanks so much for that.